goal line cam. You get great shots all the way around.
And I think the guys that announce maybe it's just because we're watching the primetime games and I'm not watching like the local coverage games. But my goodness, the D team squad that Fox and ABC sends out when you're watching Red Zone is really atrociously bad. It is not good. It is poor. Do you want to? I got a couple. I guess I can. Some stuff will come up, but I can run through a couple.
Are there more college games you want to talk about?
There's a couple. I have a couple other spreads. We've basically only covered. We've talked about Wake and Ohio State, but I have a couple. So I'll go through the time slots. So in the noon game, another great game. Oklahoma State, West Virginia. Oklahoma State on the road, giving 7 to West Virginia. I love Oklahoma State in this game. West Virginia is always one of the worst defenses since Dana Holgorsen has been there, and that has not changed. They are not good on defense. I think that their quarterback, Will Grier, is good.
Solid.
Is a solid quarterback, but they're gonna get smoked.
He's like a created player in Madden. Like when you put together your quarterback, first you want to make him like a mobile quarterback, and then you're like, no, I'm a 5'11" white guy. I'm gonna make my quarterback a 5'11" white guy.
Yeah, and he's got cool hair.
Yeah,
he's got cool hair, and he's okay. I think that's. Do I have anything else in the noon game? Oh. This is another noon game. This is kind of a random one, off the board for most people, but I love.
Is this a BYU game?
No, I'll get to. Don't worry, I'll get to the BYU game. Newsflash, by the way, for those of you not aware, BYU is 0-7 against the spread this year. So keep riding that train. Worst offense in college football. They are not good.
You should have done a ladder with them where the money that you make. Just keep putting the whole pot back in week to week. If you are that certain that they will go 0-12 against the spread, every bit of money that you bet on BYU and that you win needs to go back into BYU the next week.
There have been multiple weeks where I went like 0-6 in my other picks, but because I went huge on BYU,
that's your lock of the season.
I go very big on BYU. I've gone ever since I saw them play like week 1. I go very large on BYU every week. But no, this one is I like Pittsburgh at home against UVA.
Yeah.
-3. Love that game.
Yeah, UVA looked bad against Boston College.
They looked so bad. They looked really rough.
Now, I mean, that is a risk, though, because Pitt hasn't exactly been world beaters this year. And
agreed. And they're playing their backup quarterback, their starters.
And UVA, besides that BC game, has looked really good.
I'm a big. I like.
No, I agree with your pick here because for those of you who don't know. Before I was a Wake fan, I was a UVA fan. That's where my dad went, and I grew up a UVA fan. Trust me, I know how this goes. You get to 5 wins, you play BC at home with your chance to get bowl eligibility, and you blow that opportunity. You can just put it in the books now. UVA is going 5-7 this year.
Quicksand.
Yeah.
Quicksand. Confidence erodes quickly.
5-7. Lock it up.
So, as we get into the 3 p.m. segment, we stumble upon BYU at home against San Jose State. I cannot believe my eyes when I see
Is BYU the favorite?
It's a 13-point favorite. It is the 1-7 BYU Cougars against the 1-7 San Jose State.
You might not bet this game, though.
Oh no! I'm betting this game, and I'm going to be betting. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. BYU is a 14-point favorite, and the over/under is 53.
Do you know anything about San Jose State?
Never seen them play a single play.
This is a bad bet.
No, I'm. The BYU offense, the BYU may win this game, but the BYU offense cannot throw it's like they don't know what the forward pass is, and this is not a triple option team. They're just like they want to throw the ball, but they don't know how. They're brutal, and they're on their third quarter.
I'm just telling you, this is one of those situations where, you know how you always say, if you saw this line in a different game where you expected a different line, you would say that would be a red flag for you, where you say Vegas knows something I don't.
Yes.
In this situation, Vegas has probably watched San Jose State play.
Probably.
And probably sitting here laughing, saying, this idiot knows nothing about San Jose State, and he's going to lose a bunch of money on BYU, because this will be the game that BYU wins.
I will be playing BYU, and I will be playing. I actually, if you put a gun to my head and made me pick, I actually like the under more than I like BYU. 52 points for BYU. That's
like a season's worth of points.
I mean, they can't score at all. They can't move the ball, so they might win. Maybe they cover. I don't see how, but I think this is at most a 28-0, 28-7 game. I don't see how they get to 53 points. It's 52.5 right now.
What if it is a 63-55 final and one of the greatest games that we've ever seen?
From 2-1-7 teams? Yeah, it's very possible. College football can be crazy like that. I mean, that wouldn't be as bad a beat as my my under in the Thursday night game of 37.5 when it was 20-0 at the end of the third when I turned it off, and I had written that one down as a W. That was
rough.
That was one of my lesser favorites. I like the under in the Maryland Indiana game.
Okay, what's the
51.5? Indiana is better than people think, and Maryland
not very good.
Is not very good on offense. Is it just me, or does it seem like this is the third or fourth time that Maryland has had 4 quarterbacks go down?
It's hard to watch.
It seems like this happens to them a lot.
Yeah.
Didn't this happen a couple years ago?
I don't know. I mean, they do have a knack for getting major players injured. Didn't Stephon Diggs?
Yeah,
he went down against Wake. Actually, I was in the end zone. He was right next to me when it happened.
Were you really?
Yeah. I was a cheerleader at Wake Forest. We've covered this. I was on the field, and I was just telling somebody I played in high school against this kid. Then
he's now in the NFL and leading the league in fantasy points.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
I played high school football against a couple of guys who have, made it in the NFL now. Kevin Hogan.
Kevin Hogan. He's in the NFL. I'm trying to think if I played.
Well, he's on the Browns, so maybe he's not in the NFL.
Dude, does that really count? I mean, I guess Connor Shaw's in the NFL. Well, is he still? I think he's a backup for the Bears now.
They all torched PVI, so rest assured.
So nothing's changed since I went to PVI.
You went to Gonzaga.
They were a walkover then too.
We did win the WCAC.
What year was that?
It was in the 90s. It was close.
In the 90s?
Yeah, it was around your time, I think.
They had one quarterback one year. I think I was a junior that was 6'3". That there were rumors that he was going places, but I don't know.
I mean, we've placed some football players.
They're a basketball school.
Now, yeah, we are a basketball school. Come see us, and you will not be happy to play us.
The WCAC in basketball, and I hate that we even got on this topic because I'm not a high school basketball guy or high school sports guy. I find it kind of bizarre that grown men who don't have a child in the school go root on high school sports teams. I think you're young, but as a 33-year-old,
yeah, no, I agree.
I think going to root on 16-year-old kids in high school that I don't know and don't have any relationship to is a bit odd. Meanwhile, I'm gambling large amounts of money on 18 and 19-year-olds that I don't know.
It was 99 PVI. 99. PVI beat DeMatha at RFK Stadium.
I was
in 1999.
Oh man, I guess I was a freshman?
Oh, yeah. So when you were there, PBI was such a walk in the park. We just walked right over
Was
him.
that freshman or sophomore in 99? Fall of 99, I would have been a...
You were talking about the WCAC champions.
So I graduated in 02. That was spring of 02, 01. Yeah, I guess I was there in 99. I don't remember that.
Never happened. There was video evidence.
I remember losing to St. Albans twice. That was no fun. And they were terrible. Gonzaga was not a very good. My years at Gonzaga, they were not.
All right, 3 o'clock slate. What's going on?
So the 3 o'clock slate. Yeah, let's get off this. I can't stand high school sports. High school. The 3 o'clock slate. So
you started to say high school again.
Yeah. So the 3:30 slate. There's obviously we talked about Ohio State, Penn State. This is kind of a random spread that I just absolutely love. Love this spread. Rice at home against Louisiana Tech, getting 13. The Rice Owls can score better than people think. I think that's a game you bet. I will be betting Rice. And then the other primetime game that I'm going to be betting at the 3 o'clock hour is TCU at Iowa State. Iowa State is getting 7. I like Iowa State with the points.
Wow.
I don't think much of TCU and Kenny Trill. I don't believe their coach is good. I just think that I like the home team.
I will be on Texas Christian University there.
I also think that I was impressed when they beat Oklahoma. I was really impressed with their crowd. I think that they have a much better home field advantage than people realize. Like, it was loud. Baker Mayfield clearly was struggling to get the calls from the sideline. It was interesting. They definitely have a solid home field advantage there. This is another game I like in the 3:30 hour. God, this slate is fantastic. NC State at Notre Dame. I made the enormous mistake of betting against Notre Dame last week.
And how'd that go?
Paid for it dearly. It was not a smart decision. But can you blame me? I have bet on this Notre Dame team before. I have thought that they were frauds. Based on this experience, they've always fallen through. They have never come through. It looks like they made the right decision to stick with Brian Kelly because they look loaded.
They do.
They look like they've got a loaded squad. Wide receiver, defense. I mean, talk about when. This is an interesting conversation. Let's talk right now. Let's pull up the top 25 college football. Let's talk about teams because this is what we're really going to be caring about in a couple weeks. Who are the teams that can run with Bama? Right? That's really what we care about.
Well, then you're not looking at the top 25. You're looking at the top 10.
But, let's talk about those teams that are that you think could play with them, because I think the list is very short, and I think the list is very short, and I think Notre Dame is on that list.
Okay.
I think from a just offensive lines, their offensive line, I think they've got at least 3 first-round picks on that offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Both captains, the guard and the tackle on the left side, and I think their center are first-round picks. The center might be second or third-round pick, but he's a starter in the NFL. And I think their defense is faster. I think they've recruited to play Bama ever since they played them a couple years ago in the title game. I think that team can run with them. Who else do you like that you think could play with Bama?
I mean, I think it should go without saying Penn State.
See, I think Penn State would get destroyed.
What? Because you don't think they could run the ball because nobody can run the ball on Bama's defense?
Exactly. And I don't think much of McSorley.
I don't know. I think...
And I don't know... When I think about Bama, the thing I think about is, can your front 5 and your front 4 play their front 5 and their front 4 to a wash?
Yeah.
Can you...
You're not going to outplay them.
You're not going to outplay them. Can you keep it to, they win 55% of the time instead of them winning 90%?
Yeah.
And I don't know that Penn State's defensive line is good enough from just keeping Bama from just running it down their throat.
I don't know. I don't know. I would put Penn State in that category. I would also put Clemson in that category.
I just have concerns about the Clemson quarterback situation, but I don't think there's any question that Clemson's lines can play with Bama.
Yeah.
But the quarterback is an issue for me. The one you're not mentioning that I think